Hi, welcome to County Connection. I'm your host, Supervisor Daryl Seymore, and today we have a special guest with us today, Roxanne Pergeson. Roxanne, thank you. You're here with us today for Special Victims Rights in the Advocacy Center?
Yes.
All right, well, glad to have you with us today.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Why don't you just give us an overall, a little bit of your background and overall of what the Advocacy Center is?
Sure. So my role is I am the director of the Victim Services Department under the Navajo County Attorney's Office, so I work under Brad. And I manage a staff of 11 people total. And within the victim services realm, we also have a nonprofit arm called the Navajo County Family Advocacy Center. And there we specialize in just working with child victims only. We help them more in the very beginning stages, like the investigative stage of a crime after it is reported, to do forensic interviewing, advocacy, therapy services, different things like that. We see about 150 victims, child abuse victims there.
And so tell me how your forensic interviewing, and like if there was an alleged crime, how does that all happen, and how is that victim treated at that time?
Okay, so if there is an alleged crime against a child, the first thing that needs to happen is you notify law enforcement. If anybody believes that there's a child out there that's being harmed, DCS and law enforcement, if also that person might be related or in a position of having that child within their home. When law enforcement shows up, they do a preliminary investigation with that child, but then they stop it. They just get enough information, enough details just to kind of understand how quickly we need to proceed forward. And then they contact the Family Advocacy Center, where our designated forensic interviewer, her name is Kylie Perkins, she will perform the interview with that child. And it's done in a very therapeutic way. Not, at a police station, sitting on a concrete stone by an officer with a gun on his hip. It's done by a female who is very calm and composed. She's specially trained to ask open-ended questions to a child. So we're not intentionally or non-intentionally trying to get or motivating that child to want to please us by giving us the response that they might want. Okay. Basically influencing their statements. It gives us a better understanding of exactly what happened there. That way.
And where is your centers located?
So we have two. Okay. One in Show Low on the Deuce, and then we have one in Holbrook. It's on Buffalo Street, the same building as the Holbrook Justice Court, and we do interviews at both locations. Another thing that we do there at our FAC in Show Low is we can also do a forensic medical exam. So if there's an alleged physical or sexual trauma within a 5-day period of time when it was disclosed, we'll bring in a nurse to the FAC where that is done, a colposcope. They get a full mental health or medical examination. Okay. On that child.
Is this just for children, or is it for adults? Is it, what is the center, what does it take in as far as the number of people or ages of people?
So we see about 150 individual victims a year and their families. And we see 18 years and younger primarily, but we do also treat vulnerable adults. So anybody suffering from a mental health disorder, autism, maybe on the spectrum of some sort, Down syndrome, those type of adult individuals would be seen at the FAC as well.
Okay. Now I know you guys go out and you raise money and you have some great events in the community that happen. And so how are you funded, and raising money is always crucial for any organization that's trying to operate, especially some of the services that you're giving that we don't charge for and things. So tell me a little bit about the structure of how you're financially, compensated or financially run.
So the staff of the Victim Services Department is primarily grant funded, federally grant funded. And so we receive money through VOCA, which is the Victims Crime Act, and then VAWA funding, which is the Violence Against Women's Act. And then also there's grant funding at the Family Advocacy Center. In addition to that, fundraising is a primary source of revenue. We hold our annual golf tournament every year, which is really like the bulk of the money we receive, but we get sponsorships. We're doing tax credit charitable donations right now. They'll be over April 15th, but those are going on, and we do small little fundraisers all throughout the year that help pay for a lot of these services.
That's fantastic. I know I've participated a couple of times in your golf tournament, and it's one of the best tournaments that's held here in the White Mountains, so it's fantastic. So let's talk about your awareness. How are you getting your awareness out to the community? And I know you've got a symposium coming up. Let's talk a little bit about that and what that's going to do.
Sure. So April is Child Abuse Awareness Month, and the color is blue. But in addition,
I coordinated right today. Good.
I should have brought you a pin. I have a pin too. And then if you go around the community of Show Low, you'll actually see blue pinwheels and then children, and that's something that FAC has done, is just to raise awareness, to show pinwheels are a symbol for Child Abuse Awareness Month. But in addition to that, even though our symposium isn't going to take place until May, we did have a child abuse focused awareness theme this year for a Victims Rights Symposium that we actually hold every year. This is our 14th year. Yeah.
And what is that? This year it's Every Child Matters?
Every Child Matters, yep.
Okay.
So we're specializing on training topics that focus directly on child abuse awareness and helping and working with child abuse victims and their families.
Okay, now your symposium is going to be Friday, May 9th?
Yes.
This year, and it's going to be, where's it going to be at? At
Snowflake NPC Auditorium, and you can pre-register through Eventbrite. We also have a website. It's www.ncaosymposium.com, and there's a $10, just a really small $10 registration fee, but with that you get all kinds of training. You get a catered lunch and ceremony. It's basically pays for your lunch.
Okay, so you're going to have lunch and be a big event. Now, what are some of the classes and some of the breakout sessions that are going to try to help teach awareness of what to look for and some of those things?
Yes, yep. So it's ran in a conference style setting. If anyone has attended a conference, they'll kind of understand it. In the morning, we have a general session with a keynote presenter. This year, our keynote presenter is Kara Robinson-Chamberlain, and she was actually a survivor of kidnapping and sexual assault. She's a national trainer, and we're super excited to have her. She's going to talk about her experience and being an advocate and investigating sexual assault cases and child abuse cases.
That's fantastic. I mean, to have somebody of that national recognition to be able to come and to hear and to learn from, because a lot of the other things that you're getting into a little bit too is helping people being aware about sex trafficking.
Yes.
And what to look for, and to help parents understand if their kids are being maybe targeted on the internet, or some of those signs to look for. Are those going to be classes that will be held as well?
Yes, so it's actually a topic that we're talking about quite frequently in recent years. It's something that's always existed, that we estimate is probably the largest crime that actually occurs in the world. But for me, it's not exactly what you see on TV. What is happening and what we're seeing is that this sex trafficking, sex solicitation is happening through social media, Snapchat. It's happening in the bedrooms and homes with children and their parents under the same exact roof. So constantly having these conversations and bringing in trainers to talk about that subject, to make parents aware, to make other teens aware, so they don't walk blindly into these situations like a sextortion situation where they send one photo, an appropriate photo, to an individual that's then held over that person's head. Then that sometimes they're sending thousands a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of the sad things that when a child is taken, vulnerable, and then they are trafficked and those type of things, and we're oblivious if we don't think that it happens here in the White Mountains, because I know we've had several cases of where it's happened. Our sheriff's department has been involved with it, our police have been involved, and so I think it's great. With the symposium, though, it will be for youth as well as for adults, right?
Yep. So we run a youth contest. It's a poster video contest where the children are challenged to develop a PSA, either a photo or a 30-second video on the same topic that we can then use and show countywide. And then they're invited to see a presentation on that same topic, which this year is on sex trafficking and exploitation. Online. That's the youth presentation.
Neat. I love to see some of those posters. I bet that to see the creativity come out, and especially for a public service announcement, I think that's a great idea that you have going there.
Yes, great.
Now you're trying to get motivated for people and trying to another little incentive that you have here of how a family could actually win a trip to where? Disneyland, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool too. Talk a little bit about what that's all about.
So we run a raffle during this event. It's a fundraiser, and it goes to a fund that we use. We call it our crisis fund. So all of the proceeds and earnings on top of whatever it costs for the trip that from our pocket will go to that fund where we put victims in hotel rooms. We give them gas cards. We give them food, clothing, anything that they might need in an emergency situation if we're doing a crisis response. But this raffle is a $1,600 package. It's a 3-day, 4-night stay at Disneyland for 2. And the tickets are $25, and you can actually purchase them on our Eventbrite website, and then there's a QR code there as well.
That's awesome. And I think it's capped at 300 tickets is all you're going to sell.
Yep.
So you have a chance of, depending on how many you buy, of 300 to be able to go to Disneyland for a couple of days. Yep.
And we cap it to make sure it's competitive enough so people feel, okay, there's a good chance I could win this.
That's fantastic. How fun. So tell me a little bit about, the involvement with the county attorney. I know he does so many different fundraisers and so many different activities and so many things that he has, but does this shy people away at all, or is this something to help them embrace that they do have a center to come to in the event of a crisis?
Oh, 100%. It's something I'm extremely proud to be a part of. It is the coordination and networking amongst our community. We're a small community, right? And sometimes it feels like we're not there's a competition between us in larger areas, but sometimes I say our size is actually our strength, because these people I'm working with are not just people I don't know. Like in big cities, everything's kind of segregated and specialized. Here, I'm working with the same officers, the same medical examiners, the same mental health providers, and the FAC is kind of the hub for all of that. And we do such great work because we network so well together. I can't even tell you, just throughout the course of my job, the importance of coordinating and just understanding and knowing not your team, because we don't work in a silo. We need everyone to help and come to that child's defense.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I really feel that as the county puts his foot forward, and we're blessed to have a county attorney that cares enough to advocate for victims' rights, to make it a big important thing in our county, and hopefully it can save lives. Hopefully down the road it can help people recognize some of the challenges, some of the snares that are out there to try to grasp some of our young people into, and hopefully it can avoid some of the sad stories that can come from this as well.
Right. Education and awareness is just crucial. That's how you make a social movement happen. That's how you get to a place where you actually start seeing crime rate prevention. That's the goal, is for it to never occur in the first place. And really, there are signs, there are red flags. And if people know these things, this event's available to the community. They can come and attend and understand and learn, and then just be a voice to be there to protect their own children, or even the children around them, because it takes a village.
Right. So nobody's too young, nobody's too old.
Correct.
So come out on May 9th. There and it's going to run all day from 8 o'clock until 4:30, something like that?
Yep, 8 o'clock till 4. We do a whole catered luncheon ceremony and an awards ceremony for people who go above and beyond in the realm of victims' rights during the luncheon. And that takes place from about 12:30 to 2. And then we do our raffle at the very end and let everybody buy tickets all day. It's a really fun event. So.
Well, it sounds fantastic. Thank you so much for what you do, and I appreciate what you stand for as far as helping, and standing for victims' rights, and especially those children that have been taken advantage of, or adults, young adults that have been. And so I think it's just fantastic that we're trying to prevent as much as we can.
Well, thank you.
Any closing comments you have at all, Roxanne?
Just thank you for letting me come and share this event with everyone that I can, because I'm trying to just promote it as best I can.
Well, you're welcome. We just ask our citizens to get involved here, to know the trigger signs, to know the red flags, to be able to help our children and help citizens in our community, so that we don't have these stories that can always they never turn out good. So we just want to try to prevent what we can. And so, Roxanne, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thanks for watching today on County Connection. Again, have a great day, and may God bless each one of you. Thank you.